What is going on, guys? This is All Gaming with my review of Akame Got Killed episode 24. Here we are. We're finally at the finale, and I gotta say, this episode I definitely had some very strong feelings about. But the episode itself, it starts off from last week where we had Esdeath. She comes across Tasumi, and of course he has died now. And that right there was confirmed. I know some people were saying that like he might not be dead, but to me, I definitely knew like after all that blood loss and not to mention all his wounds, there was no way Tasmi would ever come back from that. So I definitely knew that he was dead. And right now, it should be obvious to everyone. But we see now that Esdeath, she was saying that Tasmi died because he was weak, and normally that right there would not bother her at all. But we see that these new feelings, they were actually stirred up inside of Esdeath. And now we see this army once again charging at her, thinking that it can actually do something. And we see now that Esdeath, she easily freezes them in like a circle of ice. And so now she made like this huge like barrier, I guess. And we see that only her and Akame, were inside here. And so obviously, like there's only one thing that can happen. And we see now that in agenda, we have no idea, what she was doing all this time. Because I really doubt that she was fighting, because right now she was like still recovering, because she did use Susano 3 times. And so now because of that, obviously she would not be doing any fighting, and so that right there, like kind of left her out, but she did give Akame orders, and she told her to eliminate Esdeath, and that right there starts this fight. And I'll be honest, this fight, it was definitely pretty freaking good. And so on the first half, we have Esdeath pretty much dominating this fight, and she was like going in, and we have Akame, she was like I hate to say it, but Akame was trying to pull a talking no jutsu on Esdeath, and obviously that right there would not work, because Esdeath is someone that loves to fight and loves war, so there was no way those words of hers would like ever change her. And so we see that when Esdeath was getting the upper hand, and it seems like she could possibly, kill Akame, Akame had no choice but to actually reveal like her trump card. And so we see now what Akame did. She actually cut herself, with her sword, and that right there, allowed the poison to get into her body. But rather than killing her, Akame here actually, like took in the poison and made it a power of her own, because we do see afterward, she did change. She now had the red marks on her body, and even her eyes were now black and red, kind of like that of a ghoul. So you can say that Akame went ghoul mode in the finale. And so now we see that Akame gets like a major power up, because we see now that like she was just so much faster that even Esdeath was not expecting that. And so now we have Akame here getting the upper hand, and it definitely seemed like that the tables had turned, because at one point we have Akame almost stabbing her, and we have Esdeath blocking it with ice, but that ice was not enough, and Akame actually broke that, and we see now that Esdeath was like actually stabbed in the arm. And so now now after that we have the poison. It was now affecting her body. So what the Esdeath does, she actually cuts off her own arm. That's right, she cut it off. She went Edward Elric mode, in finale as well, because right now she was armless. But you can see that even though she lost the arm, she did not stop. She was still fighting, and you even see her use her now. She used the space where her arm was for an ice attack, and that right there was like so smart. Both Akame and Esdeath, they were definitely showing how smart they can be in battles, and that right there, I will applaud them, because I was digging that. That right there, I give them some major props for. But we see that when Akame here, she was just like, we see her now pretty much knowing that this woman her was like running out of time, so she had to end this fight quickly. And so we see her now picking up speed like crazy. She was going so fast, and even Esdeath could almost not keep up. And so because of that, we now, had Esdeath having no choice but to use her trump card. But right when she attacked, the Akame in front of her, that right there was like only an after image that was left by Akame moving so fast. And when time had went back to normal, because like I find it a bit weird how Esdeath can like look around all that time and she never looked upward. We only saw her look, side to side. And when she finally looked up, that right there is where time ran out, and that right there gave Akame, like the chance she needed to actually take out Esdeath. And so now we see her time was like definitely running short. You can see the black marks were now took over her body, and so Esdeath knew that it was definitely time for her to die. And so what did she do? She had walked to Tatsumi's body, and she was like holding him, and she said that she wished that he could have been by her side. And now after they were like frozen in ice, it just shatters, and you just see them, become nothing but dust. And so that right there was emotional, but at least Esdeath got a death she wanted. She died in battle, and she also died, like with the guy she loved beside her. So that right there was a better ending. Like that right there was a good ending for her. But I do wonder, how Akame felt about her, doing that to Tatsumi's body. But it seems like Akame really didn't care. And so, like I can't really blame her, but I will say that I was surprised though that those marks that appeared on Akame's body, from her form, they actually never went away. They were like always there, and I do wonder, like why is that? Because you would think that they might go away when the form does, but I do wonder if Akame will ever be able to go into the form again, because that form, it was definitely powerful if it could take on Esdeath. And so now we see that like after she had won, obviously it was like all over from there, because with Esdeath gone, what else can they do? Like no one else is there to fight for them. And so now we go to the Prime Minister, who's a coward like always. He was actually trying to escape because he thought that as long as he was alive, he can always try again. But luckily Leone had found him. And so now we see Leone. She was walking toward him, and of course, she's gonna kill him. But it turns out that the Prime Minister, he actually had his own Imperial armor in the form of a ring, and this ring here, like to me, this power is just so freaking OP, especially in terms of this verse, because this Imperial arm, it seems like it can actually destroy another Imperial arm, but at the same time, it also destroys itself. And so now with Leone's Imperial arm gone, she like lost her form, and of course all the powers that came with it, and now we see that the Prime Minister, he pulled out a gun and he shot her, like multiple times. But Leone, she did not give up, and we see her now actually punching him, and that punch has some power between it. And even now, when like she was like towering over the guy, and she had him by the beard, the Prime Minister, he would not give up, and he shot her multiple times. But Leone, she stood strong, and she kept attacking him, punching his face until eventually you just see what was like left of it. And his face looked disgusting. I do find it, really amusing that, in the final episode where they would normally, censor this out, it was actually shown. So that right there was surprising. But his face, like to me, I hate this guy with a passion, so I was definitely glad to see him. I was definitely glad to see him get what was coming to him, but at the same time, we all knew what happened to Leone, and especially now without her Imperial arm, there was just no way she could survive that. So it's like we got his death, but at the same time, look at the cost, that it came for Night Ray, and especially like fans of the show as well. But now we see like her and like Leone and Akame, they were like at the Capitol and they were like talking to each other, and we see now that Leone, she had hugged Akame, and of course Leone knew that she did not have much time left, and Akame also knew that Leone was dying, and so now we see that after they hugged and they both said goodbye, Leone quickly like ran off. I'm guessing she knew that like she had much time left, and maybe she did want to check out like the Capitol or something one more time. But now we see as time pass on and it gets a lot later, there's like actually a celebration going on, because obviously like the army has won, the capital and the empire, they are no more, it's now done, and this kingdom will now be rebuilt as it should be. And so now we see people like definitely celebrating and they're feeling so freaking happy. And then we have Leone come, or we have these three men that all know Leone, and we see that they had invited her for a drink, but right before they could order her something, she was gone, and now we see her now in an alley, and she died from her wounds. So like from her wounds. So I do wonder when will somebody find her, and I do hope it's somebody that actually knew her, so that they could give her a proper burial. But after her death, I was definitely sad because to me I feel like it's pretty messed up how Akame is pretty much the only one that survived, because you can't really count Nanjena because she hardly did any fighting. And so she was even though she was the leader, she was never really an active member of Night Raid because she hardly did any fighting at all. She normally just led them, but all the people that had fought and gave their life for them, I felt like more than Akame should have survived from that. But now we see that some time has passed, and we see the kingdom is now rebuilding themselves. And we see now in Tatsumi's village that they have now gotten this chest of gold, and so we see that all the people, all the people in the village, they think Tatsumi and their friends are still alive, so they have no idea that they all died, but they think that one day they will return, and they will have this big celebration for them. And that right there, it just breaks your heart because we all know that they're dead, but they have no idea. So I do wonder how they will react when they find out that all three of them are dead. And so now we see that Run and Wave, they were once again visiting Kurome's grave, and we see that they had brought her flowers and some more snacks, and Wave was telling her what was going on. And he also thought about Esdeath as well, because Run and Wave, they want Kurome and Esdeath to lend them their strength, and they were thinking about Tatsumi as well. And they were saying that right now Tatsumi is probably running from Esdeath because they were wondering if she was able to meet him. But I'm pretty sure it was, to be honest, because their love or her love for him, it was just that freaking strong. But now we see that Nanjena, she will now be standing in the kingdom, to rebuild it, and the Akame here will be leaving because she will actually take all the fall for Night Raid, and I'm pretty sure she will also take. I'm pretty sure she will also take the fall for the entire army as well, because if Nanjena did take the fall for it, I'm pretty sure people would not want her, working there with them. So obviously she must cut all ties right now. And so to me personally, I find it a bit wrong that Akame must be either as a scapegoat, but if she's fine with it, you cannot really complain that much about it, And so now we see that after she had left, we finally learn the fate of the Emperor, and we see now that he actually died from a guillotine, and that right there is crazy. But this guy, he to me, the Emperor, I cannot respect him, because at least he actually wants to own up, to the choices he made in his past, and now he actually wants Nanjena to actually build a peaceful kingdom and make sure that all this bloodshed actually stops. And so now we see that when he dies, luckily we didn't see it, because that right there would have been a bit too brutal. But I was definitely shocked that they killed him. Now I do get that this series is definitely mature, but I never thought that they would actually kill him though, because he was definitely not aware of his actions, because he like we all said, this guy was definitely being controlled by the Prime Minister. But hey, this guy had to take some responsibility. And so that right there was pretty much where the episode ended, because afterwards, we have Akame walking in some desert, and she was surrounded by all these mercenaries and assassins. And so right now, the only thing that Akame can do is live on and fight. And obviously, by her doing that, she also must kill as well. And so now we see her, taking on these bandits, but of course we do not see the fight, going on, because that right there is where it ended. But for finale, for an anime only finale, I will say that it was good. Even though I had mixed feelings, as an anime only ending, I will say it was good. I'll probably give a 7 or 8 out of 10. And for a series overall, let me say this. Episode 1 through 19, I could easily say that right there is at least an 8 or a 9. Now, if you guys want to see the real story, then after seeing after watching episode 19, then just go read the manga, because after that they change a lot around and add in filler stuff. And so like from episode 20 to 24, even though I did like enjoy them, there were definitely parts where I flat out hated, or I did not agree with. But overall, Akame Got Killed is a series that I would like recommend. I would just say like after you're done watching it, then just go read the manga. But even though I am reading the manga, I'm not sure if I will review it yet. I'm still thinking about it, but maybe I will, because it is monthly, and monthly series I don't like reviewing all that well, because you have to wait so long for the next chapter. But that right there was this right here will be my life review of the anime of Akame Got Killed. Maybe I will do the manga if you all really want to see it, so let me know. But as always, don't forget to like, video, and subscribe, because it really helps me out. And you guys take it easy. I will see you all next time.